What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Momo. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Kvoth. Trying to give some people a chance here by not playing his Gaia, I see. Giving some people a chance. Kvoth is definitely known for his Gaia play, but when it comes down to it, if Kvoth ever wants to win a tournament with his Gaia as a tool in his kind of arsenal, he's going to have to be able to pull out another god or two or even three in order to win a final, given the way that the tournament formats work nowadays. So if you take a look at the way that meta players is doing their tournaments, you need to be able to play multiple gods. You can basically, if your main god is, say your main god's Loki and you only play Loki, you can get one win only with that Loki, and then you're going to have to play a different god. So in the end here, Kvoth has realized this, and he's actually going to be giving some people a chance for a while he's trying to learn how to win more consistently with Oranos, so that he can eventually win a tournament and show everyone that Gaia is the queen of Age of Mythology. Momo, on the other hand, he is still just playing his abusive Hades. Hades being arguably one of, if not the strongest god, Greek in the game, if not the strongest god in the game right now. So we'll see how he's going to go in this game, what he's going to do. The reason why Hades is so strong is not for reasons you would think. It's not because he's got access to Earthquake. It's not because he's got access to both Curse and Underworld. It's not because he got access to Restoration, all these god powers being some of the best god powers in the game, mind you. It's not because of all of that. It's because he doesn't fucking die. He never dies. He just has like 3,500 HP Town Center at the start of the game, and he's just living the dream. He's just living the dream for the entirety of the game. We do see that Momo has found some cows now, and if Kvoth wants to pull these back, he's going to have to micro this very, very nicely to pull it back. So we'll see if he's going to be able to steal those cows all the way back to his hometown center, or if he's just going to give them away to Momo. It's going to be a very, very nice steal there for Kvoth there, as Momo's going to be very furious about that one. So we'll see how things are going to go here in this game. It looks like whatever's happened here in the early game for Momo is very, very bad. He's found himself his second hunt. He only had 2 elk here, but because of the only 2 elk, he's going to have a little bit of a challenge here getting himself his food out. So generally speaking, when you have 2 elk, I recommend you to only put 2 villagers or 3 villagers on those 2 elk and send the other villagers straight over to your secondary hunt, so you can be okay there. Now, there is going to be deer somewhere here, but it's only a 2 deer spawn. So luckily for Momo, he has found his aurochs here. So we'll see what he's going to do with those. A temple is coming up now for Kvoth, and he is just playing this one fairly standard. Now, if you're playing as Atlantean, especially as if you're playing as Oranos, and you want to hit those 430 advance times on these awkward maps, look at what Kvoth does here. Now, the only thing I would have said that Kvoth could have done a little bit better here is send this cow over to this location for his villager to be shanking that down and be able to eat that, and he would have been able to get a perfectly clean 430 here. He has 50 extra wood as well, which he didn't need to grab. He could have taken the villager off of this straggler tree, for example, and jumped over onto the berry bushes, and that way he would have been able to advance here. But instead, he's getting a 445-ish, which is 15 seconds late. And he is on his hunt over here, which is completely fine, but he is a little bit late moving forward. Whereas Momo here, going to be getting out his Ajax, looking for a little bit of harass here. We are seeing these oracles getting shanked down by the Catoscopos. So we'll see how it's all going to go, as Momo has got his eyes set on a pair of golden lions. This is easily one of the best relics in the game for the early game here. You get 2 golden lions. They're very, very strong. 5 speed, decent hack damage. And Momo's going to grab that, drop that back into the temple, and have a very, very happy early game here moving forward. Now, Momo is partial to the idea of grabbing a fast second town center on nearly every single map against every single Atlantean player. So we'll see if that's what he's going to go for here or not. And if Kvoth having that advance time, having a little bit of an early advance time here, is going to be enough for him to deny this town center. Oftentimes it's really not possible for the Oranos players to make that happen, but we'll see if that's what Kvoth is going to do. I mean, the other option is just to try and make sure that you don't let this one get grabbed and make sure he grabs the back one, so you have at least a chance to get 4 town centers. So we do see the military academy and counter barracks getting dropped. Promethean Offspring get deleted as they're going to start scouting around the map. You can see how poorly Kvoth is scouted here due to Momo's aggressive Katoskopos movements here. Momo actually also having scouted fairly poorly here. He's scouted his own side of the map, but he's really taken out the scouting of Kvoth here, as the Arrows of the Alpha does get grabbed. Going to be sending that back home as well. So getting not only the bonus early game, but also the bonus late game here with Arrows of the Alpha, giving an extra 20% building pierce damage, which is a big deal, as we do see 6 villagers making their way over onto this town center. And Kvoth, on the other hand, nowhere to be seen here. He's only now just getting out his first kind of batch of units here. He's got them out now. So if they were already on this town center, which may be a little bit difficult to do, then he would have been able to potentially get some damage done. But it looks like that's going to come up no problem here for Momo. He's also got his Minotaur in here as well. He's got his gold lions. We should be okay. Scouting out the back, just checking for some gold mines. So now we take a look at the map and we say, okay, so why did, apart from the fact that Momo picks 2 town centers every single game, every single matchup against every single Atlantean god, he never ever goes for 1 town center play from what I've seen. Why might you pick why might you not pick 2 town centers here? Well, the thing is that Momo's gold is really bad. He's got a gold mine over here. He's got a gold mine over here. He's got a gold mine over here. And Kvoth, he doesn't know that yet. He doesn't know that there's a gold mine here and that it's extremely easily preventable from getting grabbed. But once Kvoth knows that, Kvoth might be able to start making a decision to go full out classical age or hitting some sort of heroic age timing to control that location. Or even a mythic age timing to control that location as well, as that's going to be a very difficult thing for Momo to hold here. As the villagers for Kvoth making their way up here, going to be eating those Aurochs. There's lots of Aurochs on the map here that Kvoth's going to be able to eat. So he's got effectively a high hunt map against Momo's, not necessarily low hunt map because he had the 3 Aurochs here, but if you think about it, 2 Elks plus 1,200 food worth of Aurochs is kind of less than a lot of the Oasis maps you're going to get. So a very low amount of food here, as we do see these gold lions coming. Look at the stats on these things. 7 hack damage, 48 or 70 HP. That's very good, as we do see a wall coming up here for Kvoth super early here. Now, one of the other things that's a little bit funny about the gold line is the villagers, they can't use their bows onto those gold lines, so he's going to have to shag those down. No problems there, as Kvoth is slowly moving forward, controlling the map here, throwing walls up everywhere. This is very anti-Atlantean theory. Atlantean players don't like walls at all here, but Kvoth is spending the resources in order to build them. The reason why Atlantean players don't like walls is while walls are really cheap, 15 gold a piece, 3 gold for the wall segments here, the loss of resources is quite high on these gold mines. So we'll see how things are going to go as the units moving forward here for Kvoth, looking for something to raid. See Momo over here getting his farms, playing it super slowly. He's got himself a stable. He's got himself a military academy, sitting super defensively in his base and just taking his time here. I'm surprised he didn't wall up these towers with the idea of getting watchtowers later. They might be a little bit of a weakness, but he has kind of secured it just a little bit by surrounding it with the military academy and the stable, as the town center over here is coming up for Kvoth now. And this is the dangerous part for Kvoth is well, one is doing it correctly. So he's pushing forward here, getting the town center while pushing forward. But the thing is here, the dangerous part is, and I see a lot of Atlantean players making this mistake, which Kvoth isn't doing right now, is not grabbing the forward town center first. If you grab the back town center first and then the forward town center, there is a timing which is available to a 2 town center Greek player that can push forward and prevent you from finishing this town center off. And Kvoth knows this, and he's grabbing this one first, and then he'll move over here and grab this one second. The other thing that he could potentially think about doing, which might not be a bad idea, is instead of grabbing this town center, attempt to sneak this town center. As you can see, the Katoskopos is not scouting that out. Momo's got no eyes on this at all. So that town center could potentially get snuck here by Kvoth, and because Kvoth has got these forward villagers already finishing up on this Auroch, he could definitely move forward and grab that one. As we do see, like I said, this Sentry Tower has a little bit of a weakness here, as these Murmillo running through the base here, distracting ever so slightly, allowing this tower to get taken down, may allow this gold mine to be harassed ever so slightly. moving forward here. So we'll see if that's going to be an issue or not, as these Momillo are actually getting taken down ever so slightly. There is going to be a Sentinels available for him. Sentinels on this position might be able to defend this gold mine ever so slightly, as the Terma are going to be able to actually finish off this watchtower moving forward. So Kvoth, looking at his perspective over here, he's still just pumping units. He's on 2 town centers here. Not going for the immediate 3rd town center, but he will be eating this bear over here as this Orok will finish. We'll see what his plan is moving forward here, as Momo is simply just doing what Momo does best. He's going for a very, very safe, semi-fast, heroic age here. He's going to have access to Curse. He's going to have plenty of defensive possibilities here. He does cast his Sentinels on this position, which we'll see if that's going to be enough of a help here, as the Temple is going to be targeted down. And that means that Momo will need another Temple up, as we do see the Armory getting dropped here, as this gold mine might be getting pushed off, as Momo's giving himself a bit of a difficult position. He's getting himself into a bit of a difficult position here. He's going to drop that relic there, and I imagine Kvoth is going to be smart enough to just push in and pick that up. Oh, Chiron, Momo too smart there. Picks that relic up, pulls that away. We do see the arrows of the Alpha are going to be going the wayside of Kvoth there. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic moving forward, as the villagers do pull over here, as the Hippocon do spot this one immediately, as Kvoth needs to react to that, maybe sending over a Promethean or something, idling those citizens for quite some time here. He could jump onto the gold mine for the time being or something like that, but Kvoth here going to be searching around this map, looking for where that second gold mine could potentially be. Momo is already on this gold mine here, which is obviously not what Kvoth wants to happen, but is what's happening. And will Kvoth notice this or not? Here's the question. And Terma does pop in, does spot this one. There's no wall up already here for Momo, as Aphrodite will come in, and it's likely, very, very likely, that a curse here is going to be enough. Temple gets thrown down with all these villagers. Obviously, he lost his temple, so he needs it back to get that free Nemean lion here, which is going to be a big help to defend this location. Not only that, the Chiron dropping the relic into this temple will give him another golden lion once his other golden lion does get taken down, as the Terma does get taken out there. Kvoth, on the other hand, what is his plan? Throwing some more military buildings down over on this location over here to help put pressure over here. Still 2 town centers. Lots of villages are getting produced, starting to push forward. Curse is available now, dropping Kvoth's population down for just a little bit here, as the Nemean lion can be coming through. There is the Promethean coming through here as well, as the Chiron does get sniped down. The Nemean lion does get sniped down, and this is going to be a tough one here for Momo to defend. We'll see if he's going to be able to do so. There is still Shockwave available, as the villagers are going to be trying to get as much favor as they possibly can out here to make as many Nemean lions as they possibly can, but looks like the army is pushing through, and Momo's going to be losing some villagers. You definitely, if your name is Kvoth here, should be considering dropping a Shockwave or something onto this position here to prevent those villagers from retreating and getting some extra villager kills here. Beautiful marker there by Momo to distract over on that position, as the town center is coming up here for Kvoth. Pushing through here, villagers still retreating away, as we do see there is that Shockwave coming in to deny those villagers that retreat path, getting even more idle time coming in. The villagers deciding now to jump onto that gold mine instead of retreating away, as the Achilles is coming in. Kvoth's units here kind of sitting idly by. He's got 7 idle units here as well, as the Terma are going to be retreating back here, seeing what can happen in this situation here, as the units pulling back. And it looks like to me Momo has relatively well defended this position. He's still sitting only at 88 population over here. We do see the villager trying to sneak this gold mine over here. It's not going to happen, as Kvoth decides, yep, time to retreat ever so slightly here, as maybe just a handful too many Terma have been made. It's the Oranos curse here. There's plenty of food income. Instead of making a counter barracks here, probably should have been another military academy, throwing farms down and going heavy in onto those Murmillo. As you can see, so many of these units coming through. We do see the restoration coming through, trying to keep that Ajax alive here, but Kvoth doesn't care. He's just going to sit here, continue fighting this one, as Momo pulling back. Will we see this town center getting grabbed at any point, as the villager's getting targeted down there by the bear? The bear does 9 damage per second here. Going to be able to take out this villager here very, very quickly. That's 2 villagers dead. A handful of villagers on this position for Kvoth. Kvoth's still not able to go to the next age here, as the villagers do finally get pulled off of that gold mine. There is still this gold mine over here, so I'm surprised to see Momo putting so much pressure in onto this position here, as the villager's going to push back over onto this gold mine. Momo has very, very little gold in the bank. We could see a marker get thrown up, selling selling wood for gold for a little bit here, as a handful of Terma are going to be pushing over here to try and take down those villagers. As this is continuing here, we are now starting to see some Hypaspis coming in, and once the Hypaspis come out, that will royally help with this army here that Momo's trying to deal with, because the Terma basically do nothing here. If you just go a Hypaspis, Hoplite, Hippocon, there's nearly no army composition in the Classical Age which Atlantean can deal with. Can't really deal with that army there. So you do see the Termin out trying to chase down that villager. Will indeed be able to pick off that one, as Momo's still trying to mine from this gold mine. This villager over here is getting chased down, as Kvoth is playing it very, very nicely thus far. But Momo here, he's still got the economy going. Like, he's still been 2 town centers for ages. So too is Kvoth. As Kvoth is now 3 town centers going up through Thea. He's getting chased back ever so slightly. Momo's found his footing in this game, and now he's going to have to find some sort of damage to be dealt here, as we are starting to see Momo sneaking around the map here, throwing military buildings on the sides of the map, being incredibly early in the game. Look at all that wood in the bank here that Momo's got. Momo's next eye is going to be on this town center here. As you can see, he's already trying to drop it here, as Kvoth turning around, taking a little bit of a fight here, trying to push through. Still has no upgrades in. Are we seeing any coming through, though? Yes, we are seeing the medium upgrades coming in for Kvoth. He's got plenty of military buildings down here at this point. I mean, technically, Terma do counter the Hypaspis. They've only got 10 PS armor, but it's not. There's no bonus damage there. Neither unit has bonus damage against each other. But the point is, the army composition just completely counters everything. The entire army composition counters the entire army composition as possible. You kind of need to have Arcus, Contarius, Mamilla to kind of deal with that kind of thing. Let's look at Kvoth's economy. He's got so many units, so much population here, trying to pump out and hold this position off, as Momo is slowly trying to get this up. And we are seeing Kvoth dropping a palace over here, but I would have liked to see the palace dropped here to control this town center, as he probably could have got that up. Kvoth here is struggling to make units out. He's got tons of military buildings, to be honest, but his army is just getting cleaned up here really, really fast. All those Terma just not cutting it here, as this Nephalian bird is coming through. He's going to be able to target this down. If that palace was up here, this would have been a controlled position. I'm not going to lie, you can target down the town center or the settlement there with the palace and hold this position, but Kvoth makes a little bit of a mistake there. Do we see a market up here for Kvoth? No market just yet here, as the Nephalian birds are getting targeted down really, really quickly by the Chiron here, as more units pumping through here. Even if Kvoth just threw some towers down, look at all those resources that Kvoth isn't spending here. This is super un-Kvoth-like. The reason he's so good with Gaia is because he realizes how many resources he gets in the Heroic Age, and how efficiently he can spend those. But at this point, he's struggling here to just do what he needs to, and that's going to allow Momo to eventually get this town center up. Momo here sitting 127 to 130 population. He's going to be able to advance to the Mythic Age really soon. He's got his market up. And there we see a cheeky shockwave coming through, as Kvoth still trying to push through. He does get this destroyer out. He's got one destroyer currently targeting the town center down, as Artemis is now coming through for Momo. Kvoth, on the other hand, he is struggling for food here at this point. Lots of wood in the bank. 145 population, though, as he is going to be able to control this town center for the time being. He's slowly starting to secure the map here, throwing wooden walls down on this position. Currently no favor in the bank, because he's spending it all on Nephalian birds, so not able to make those palaces over here at all. As the problem for Momo is going to really be gold mines. 1,300 gold over here. Gold has finished up over here. So if Momo gets control of a second gold mine, he's going to be in a really good position. If he doesn't, then Kvoth straight wins this game. So we'll see if Kvoth is going to be aware of this. He's going for this town center, which I think is a slight misplay. Maybe double palace here would be a better play, just to secure the town center. Earthquake on this location, not going to be that big of a deal if it just loses the palace, or even just pump all of that economy into buildings around this location and this location to prevent any sort of earthquake here, as we are seeing Momo now trying to spam more military buildings over here to hold this location. Artemis just about to come through. This temple will give an Nemean lion here. So we'll see if that's going to help out, or not an Nemean lion, a Chimera for Momo. So we'll see if that's going to help out. If it does or not, we'll see, as the wall gets taken down over here for Kvoth. As we do see, our palace is now coming down on this position, as Kvoth is starting to realize this is where the fight is going to be happening, as he's pushed off that gold mine, 1,000 gold early. The temple goes down here, and Momo losing that temple. He's got no temple. That's going to be a second Oh, no, he did. That's going to be a no Chimera there for Momo. That's absolutely huge. As this palace coming down, we do see the earthquake gets dropped. The palace gets denied. The villagers onto this location. Kvoth still sitting 4 town centers here. He's getting himself fortified town centers. Moving forward here. He's getting himself the Stymphalian birds in onto this position over here. As the Dryad's going to be coming through, the villagers going to be trying to push in and grab this town center. Plenty of resources for Momo in the bank to do this. He's going to be dropping the temple over here as well, as the villagers going to drop the town center. Will it be enough is the big question. Grabbing this town center almost secures this back gold mine over here, this gold mine and this gold mine. And if Momo gets control of all of that, things will look very, very bad for Kvoth, because Kvoth, I mean, he does still have access to the Mythic Age, and we'll see what he's going to be going for. He is choosing Hecate, which maybe is a good idea, maybe is not a good idea. I think the idea of Helios here, with the idea of going into mass siege, is really, really smart here. And taking this game late game, because mass siege Helios can actually beat the late game of an Artemis Hades. So Helios can beat late game Artemis Hades. If you're in an equal position, you can manage to make yourself win those fights there, because the Fire Siphon beat out on not only the Heliopolis, but they also beat out on the Petropolis. So the Siege War, you win the Siege War. And then you can just make Fanatics or whatever to bolster that. Fanatics, Murmillo, Arcus, all the good stuff. And you can find victories there if you're in an equal position. As Momo, long distance mining for the time being, he's got this gold mine under wraps. He's got full villages at this point. We are seeing a palace coming up here for Kvoth, as Kvoth has controlled this entirety of this top side of the map here. He does have the market over here, but it might be worthwhile to put the market on this top corner there to start the trade. The question is going to be, when should Kvoth start trading here? He is consistently taking these fights, and part of taking these fights is part of Oranos' game plan. It's like he wants to trade non-stop in these games, but it's also kind of part of Hades' game plan, because it allows Hades to get access to these Hades Shades, which are obviously free units here. As we do see the Stymphalian bird moving in onto this position, where will he be casting his Tartarian Gate? Straight on this location. I love that that Tartarian Gate hits all of these villages off of this location. We don't have any upgrades just yet for Kvoth. He's not going to give himself any upgrades, as we do see the villagers coming through here. We've got ourselves 20 seconds left on the shockwave here. These Tartarian spawns going to do a lot of damage over onto these villages, as the villagers will take down the Tartarian Gate here really, really fast. Meanwhile, Kvoth pushing it onto this position as hard as he possibly can, trying to target this down. He's now got himself out the Lampede as well over here, but still no Chimera are coming out, as Momo's economy has dropped incredibly hard here. But the question is going to be, how can Kvoth get a tangible advantage after this? That's exactly what the question is, as the Lampedes pushing it onto this position. We'll see what they're going to attempt to do here. As villagers are going to be dropping left, right, and center. The Tartarian Gate does go down. The Ajax will be able to clean up the remainder of these Tartarian spawns, as the Tartarian spawns don't work together that well. More villagers are going down, but the villagers are getting rebuilt here. If you take a look at the economy of Momo, he's got some really, really good upgrades coming through here. I imagine so too does Kvoth have good economic upgrades here. He's missing quite a few, to be honest. But he does have the important one in the farming upgrade there, but still trying to push forward. He's not at full population here, and it looks to me that those Hades Toxotes are just too strong here for Kvoth to break through with his current army composition. The destroyers are tanking nicely, but Momo is consistently microing this to try and take out those Arcus, and that's going to really, really stunt any sort of push forward. The advantage that Oranos has against the Toxotes is range. It's not damage, because Toxotes is still 8.45 damage per second, Arcus still 6.6 damage per second. So what you need is your Arcus to be targeting the enemy Toxotes down from range while the destroyers are tanking. Is kind of the best way to go that. That's a beautiful marker there from Kvoth, distracting those Toxotes out, as Momo is now sitting 145 of 145 population, drops the market on this corner, sees the enemy market of Kvoth, but Kvoth hasn't started a trade route just yet. And now Momo has got a very, very defensible position. He's in a good spot, but he's not in front just yet. Technically he's in front of the score, but the game's not over just yet. Kvoth's still got lots of different ideas to move forward here. He's going to try and get his economy into gear. He's going to try and get his trade route sorted. we are going to be seeing that market getting taken down as a fortress coming up on this side over here. So Kvoth's going to have to defend this location over here moving forward. In terms of gold mines, the gold is really nice over on this position. We are seeing a beautiful Stinfalion Bird raid coming through for Kvoth, as he's going to be starting to throw up sky passages all over the place here. I love that play. If you can get some sky passages over here, break through this wall, attack this town center, it can be really, really nice. You do see a bit of a shockwave coming in as Kvoth finally rallies in onto this position. Continuing to put pressure on, but at this point Kvoth needs upgrades. He doesn't have any upgrades over here just yet. As where are those shockwave, not shockwave, sky passages? I don't see. Oh, sky passage over here for Kvoth is going to be getting taken out by Hades Shades, but Kvoth is going to be putting some raids in onto this position. Love that play over there. Going to be hitting this location over here, hitting this location up here as well. Be really, really strong here as Kvoth pulls back with his heavy Arcus. We see the Toxotes doing still a really, really good job of defending. Kvoth is now on this position. He's got his sky passage over here. He's snuck in on this position over here. Maybe throw some buildings down. Wouldn't go astray there for Kvoth as he throws a mana down on this position here to secure this gold mine situation for Kvoth. He's got tons of gold mines remaining over here as opposed to Momo, who is going to be running out really, really soon. Has he started a trade route at all? Not really. He does have the market in the position to trade, but no trade route. Villagers getting pulled off this gold mine. Heliopolis starting to get produced here as the army of Momo getting pulled back. Going to come over onto this sky passage, which will allow Kvoth to set up now. Kvoth needs to throw up a palace now on this position while he has a chance, as the villagers getting chased over onto this gold mine over here as the army pushes in, going to take out this sky passage here. Kvoth is going to be coming over here and trying to take this fight. We'll see if he's going to be able to win this one or not as the sky passage going down. No attempt at pushing onto this position just yet for Kvoth. No resources in the bank. We do see the market coming up. Not quite in the corner, but I mean, Matrius has set a precedent, and everyone feels like you just have to give a little bit of credit to Matrius every single time you play Age Mythology with your market placement. But right now, both players still very low on the resources. Kvoth does have that slight advantage in the population with fortified town centers as the citizen does get pushed back. We are seeing Chimera now coming through, going to be causing a little bit of problems here for Kvoth as the Toxotes coming back in to target down that citizen there as Hero Arcus do get created. Going to be turning around onto this one. The Heliopolis is coming through. Kvoth still, he is going to be losing control of this position over here, but he hasn't managed to secure anywhere else. Still no attack over this position. Still no attack over here. He's gotten some resources in the bank. Economically, he's almost got full economic upgrades here as a citizen over here. He gets another one. Maybe he's going to sneak it into this corner over here, drop a sky passage over here or something. Wouldn't be a bad idea, as the army on this position looks like it will get mostly cleaned up here for Momo. Still utilizing those Hades Shades really nicely. Both players here, not a lot of armory upgrades in the bank just yet. So going to be a little bit tough here moving forward here for both players as they're going to try and get their economy in front, get that sorted out as Kvoth finally decides excuse me, as Kvoth finally decides to throw up a palace here to secure this location. We'll see how things are going to go on this one as the archery range over here is going to be getting cleaned up. You see Kvoth moving forward, looking for something to do here. As those Arcus now trying to push in and take this down. So the archery range over here going to be going down. Army now pushing through over here for Kvoth, for Momo. So Momo's still holding. And do we see like, well, what happened here? Momo deleted a house somewhere. He's just rebuilding his house somewhere else over on this position to keep his villages nice and safe. And now he has to start the trade route. And once you start the trade route, the kind of thing you're saying as Atlantean when you start the trade route is that you can no longer make any movement forward here on these locations. You can't really attack your opponent all too much because you're spending all these resources and population in trade. So what you're saying is, I need to get tech. So I'm getting the economy to get the tech in order to get an advantage here over my opponent while continuing to take the fights and just trading equally. As you do see Fire Siphon coming out, and you can see how strong these Fire Siphon, I mean, if Kvoth is going to click them, how strong the Fire Siphon actually is against these Heliopoli. as the palace is getting taken down. And the damage on the Fire Siphon here, not as much really from the Heliopoli. I see, look at that Fire Siphon, able to take that Heliopoli down incredibly fast here. But Momo did market that a lot better there than Kvoth, as the 2 Heliopoli do fall though after that pressure, as the medium destroyers do not manage to take down that fortress over there. As Momo's still continuing along, he's still got plenty of economy, still making this trade route. He doesn't have himself coinage just yet. As the Arcus pushing through. Kvoth, on the other hand, he's normally would have his upgrades, but not quite yet getting his coinage either here in this game. As he's just gonna, there he goes. He gets a handful of llama caravans out, and then he gets his coinage. As Kvoth here is starting to get his armory upgrades. He's in a really, really good position. As look, Momo here, he really has to micro a lot harder than Kvoth does. All Kvoth needs to do is make sure his destroyers are sitting on the Toxotes. All Kvoth needs to, well, what Momo needs to do in those situations is make sure his Toxotes are targeting down the Arcus. If the Toxotes are targeting down destroyers in these fights, Kvoth will be winning these. So really, Momo needs to figure that out and get that sorted, and so too does Kvoth. Really, in fact, targeting down a Heliopoli with destroyers is not actually the best play with those there. Obviously, you have to kill off the Heliopoli, but you need to make your Momillo do that, or something like that. As now the Toxotes getting in onto this position. Let's check out the armory upgrades. A little bit falling behind here for Momo, as the Hypaspis coming in onto this position here. Still no attempt at targeting any other location down here, as Kvoth is trying desperately to get his economy sorted out. One of the big things that big advantages of a Hesperids player, a anti-Oranos, is that you can actually go up above your population cap economically. Not really above your population cap, that's not the right word. It's more like you can over-economize because you have these Dryads. And Dryads are effectively worth roughly 3 population worth of units. They're kind of like a mercenary, except it doesn't die. And yes, there is a weakness to heroes, but it's a really, really strong unit to be having made here. So you can use it offensively and have a really, really good time with those Dryads. So you do see that this fortress is yet again getting taken down. Heavy destroyers now push in as the Hypaspis come through onto this position, going to start taking those down. As you do see those Hypaspis are getting cleaned up. The destroyers coming through here, taking this one down. As we do see the villagers getting cleaned up over here. Villagers over here are going to get cleaned up as well, as Momo wants to try and secure that gold mine. Taking a look over at Momo's perspective here, he still has a little bit of gold left, but his trade route is set up, so he doesn't really need all too much gold anymore. He's still struggling to get his fortified town centers here, as this pressure that Kvoth is putting on is really, really nice here. Still keeping Momo's resources low, but as I say that, fortified town centers does manage to come through for Momo, and things will start turning on their tail here as the archery range goes down. But the Momo Chimera coming through going to be a big problem here, as the destroyers coming in onto this position. That fire breath does so much damage to those destroyers. Try and take that town center down there. See if he's going to be able to. I do think that this is going to be a good spot to control for Kvoth. If he gets siege engineers, he can sit here and potentially target that fortified town center down. That could be really, really nice. So we just see some hero Arcus coming in, but the immediate target there from Momo to take that down is going to really, really help out, as Momo is starting to get into his element in this game, and Kvoth here, he's still struggling for resources. I mean, technically he's still sitting full population, but he's trying to get he's not even able to afford his armory upgrades. His trade route hasn't kicked in just yet, as he's got 8 villages on gold and has a decent trade route, but it's not, the gold isn't starting to bank up here. I do think that it's worthwhile at this point to make some Lampedes here to deal with those Chimera coming out. It's a very, very important unit to have in your mix here to deal with those Chimera. Otherwise, your army is going to continue to get pushed back. As the Hypaspis Toxotes army is coming through, and really the counter to this army is technically Contarius here, but for Kvoth to go Contarius, he needs to get himself heavy cavalry first, and then swap into Contarius to push through here, which is really, really expensive to do. So you can see he's got no food, he's got no gold, so he's just not able to do it just yet, or just deciding that it's not worthwhile doing it. Now you do have Thea, so you do have access to Poseidon's Secret and Lance of Stone, so Contarius are a decent idea here, and we'll see if that's going to be something that the Kvoth is going to try here moving forward. But at this point, it's still very, very close. And the question really is going to be coming, is Kvoth at any point going to be attempting to use this sky passage to teleport up here and do some sort of raid through that top location? Or is Kvoth going to be able to get potentially a Titan out here? Or is Momo going to be able to get a Titan out here? As both players are still very low on the resources moving forward here in this game. And we'll see how things are going to be moving along here. Yes, Kvoth's just still trying to push forward, but Momo's got no weaknesses at this point. Attacking through this location just doesn't seem like it's going to work to me, as we will be seeing Kvoth going for what looks to be a cheeky little Arcus raid, maybe over onto this trade route here. I feel like if you take a look at Momo's perspective, you could drop a sky passage here, and then you can be trying to push through up onto this trade route as well, if there's the resources for it. Kvoth is starting to get resources for it as the Heliopoli pushing through. Pallets starting to come down for Kvoth all over the place as the army is starting to converge onto these Arcus. The Arcus getting picked off very, very fast. So the pacifist, not the best against Arcus. Arcus definitely are going to be winning those fights there, as we do see a fire siphon coming through, going to start doing some good damage against the enemy Heliopoli here. As you do see these Arcus now trying to take down the donkey caravans over here. He does pick off one there, as they're going to continue to cause some problems over here for Kvoth's economy, but for Momo's economy, but Kvoth's military here a little bit too weak on this position to hold. So while he's doing that, we'll see if it's going to work. Lots of units streaming in onto this position, as Kvoth probably needs some more military buildings right here to hold this spot, but he's kind of positioned all the way up over here for now. Is he still making trade? No, he has stopped the trade route. He's getting himself champion units here. He's got the champion Arcus in now. Momo here, he's got a lot of resources himself, so he can actually get champion Arcus, as well as the villagers are going to be coming over onto this position. Potentially some walls coming in, fortress defensive buildings coming in for Momo here, as we do see some heavy pelt. I love it. The one moment when peltast are worth building is when your opponent has 6 Arcus sitting here and it gets immediately picked off. Arcus is such a funny unit. They're such a funny unit. There are room for Arcus in a game, but to know when to build them and when not to is very, very difficult. There's such a small amount of times that Arcus are the way to go. As Momo now has himself champion Toxotes, he got himself iron shields compared to the non-shield upgrades for Kvoth. Kvoth might want to just completely move away from Pierce units while Momo's got those upgrades here. If he notices that or not, as you do see a hero Arcus coming in. The Chimera just wins that fight against the Arcus. The Arcus just not going to be able to stay alive there, I guess. There's the Achilles pushing in onto this position to take down those Arcus very, very quickly here. We'll see how things are going to be continuing along, as the army going to be pulling back. And really, Momo, I don't know. Momo's in this position now with Hades where it's incredibly difficult to lose. So really the question is going to be, how does he prevent himself from losing it? So first thing is protect this trade route. Second thing is push in through this location, get fortresses set up, maybe push in through this location, because Kvoth hasn't done anything like that. He hasn't even defended his trade route, so he could get an easy win by just pushing in and taking that down. As we do see the units pushing in over here. Kvoth has now started to recuperate his army, regroup, push back. As Momo just about to finish up on his last gold mine over here, but there is still plenty of trade route coming. He's still building these donkey caravans. 83 golden coming each trip there. As the Chimera are going to continue to push in, continue to kill off those champion Arcus incredibly well here. As slowly but surely Kvoth is going to be falling here in this game. We see a random Momillo over here as Gastrofidi coming out. As Momo's like, what if we go for some Gastrofidi here? He's not getting himself the upgrade though for him. Gastrofidi are pointless to build before you have Burning Pitch. Once you have Burning Pitch, they get the bonus damage against buildings, and then they do a ton of damage. Before Burning Pitch, they're really not doing all too much. So we'll have to see that one come through if he wants to get anything done with those. Wait, he does have Burning Pitch? Or he has Burning Pitch already. So the Gastrofidis are now going to come through, and they are, not only are they good against buildings, but they're also good against military units as well. They effectively deal like 13 or 14 damage per second, while they deal 3, while they also have like 24 range, but yeah, they're 3 population and they deal more damage than those champion Arcus by quite a bit, so it's well worth it to build those here. As we see the palace getting taken down over here, as this position is getting cleaned up, and Kvoth still producing those dryads over here, still trying to work this out. He's got lots of food in the bank now. A Titan would be a good idea, as we do see Kvoth going for yet another raid here onto this gold mine. But Momo is, I mean, now that Kvoth has made his way through onto this position twice, he needs to think about how he can actually get in here and do some tangible damage to that trade route, because that's really the way to go. As we do see this Chimera here getting taken out by the Dryads here. We'll be able to clean this one up there. Nice play. Good job dealing with that. As the trade route getting picked off right now, we are seeing a fortress coming up. Momo's gold is going to be hurting quite a lot here. This is really, really big. Will we see a complete stoppage of this trade route? We are seeing that happen as Momo's getting a lot of idle caravans over here, as Kvoth is just sitting in on this position, picking these off incredibly quickly. Nice play. Very few gold is getting let in at this point, but the army is not going down at all while this is happening. So will Kvoth be able to continue over here or not? As we do see this sky passage in this corner that I was talking about has gone up. Nice play by Kvoth. Is going to continue to be able to push through there, continue to send more units in and take out that trade route. And losing that trade route is so big right now, as Momo here, he's still trading, but he's not getting any gold here. As the army is pushing in, we are going to be seeing this gold mine getting grabbed here for the time being, as those Gastrofetes are going to continue to take down these palaces over here, as maybe Kvoth should consider coming further into this position with some buildings now that he's got some security on this position here, and then he come back over here and stop this gold mine from getting grabbed, because if Momo gets this gold mine for just a little bit, Momo's going to be able to continue to push through here and take a little bit of a risk, but he's going to be able to pay off if he gets that town center down, and we'll see how things are going to go. But Momo's economy very, very weak here. Kvoth's economy also very low, as he's desperately trying to hold on to this position over here. As more villagers are coming through, we are making some more of those dryads here to help out on this position over here. Villagers getting taken down on this gold mine, not able to gather too much over here, as the Gastrofetes do manage to take down that sky passage there as it goes down, but still more units in here. This game is very, very tense in this point, as Momo does delete his market right now, trading now probably from this town into this back corner. It's still a decent trade route in all honesty, but a lot of trade caravans have been picked off from that one lone raid there, as we'll see if Kvoth can bring his units back or not moving forward here, as the Hades Shade over here does end up getting taken down. The Champion of Pacifist trying to push through onto this position. We see the Gastrofetes taking down everything else over here, as we'll see if Kvoth can hold on, as the Arcus over here. That's a lot of idle population that needs to get back over onto this position. Do we see another sky passage somewhere? Villagers over on that location there. I don't see the sky passage anywhere else for these units to come back here easily, as if this town center goes down, it's going to spell absolute disaster here for Kvoth, as Kvoth attempting to desperately try and target down these Gastrofetes with his Arcus, but the town center is going down incredibly fast. Villagers need to get over here and repair this one back up, but it's not happening just yet here, as the Arcus get back into that sky passage. But where's the sky passage? There is no sky passage to get back over onto this location, right? They're sitting idly by. 22 population in that town center going down, as Momo manages to break that one down, as we do see a palace coming up here. Has he still got those units in here? Yes, he does. Where is he sending them? What is the plan here? Kvoth making a very, very, very bad mistake here. He should probably just delete the units, in all honesty, instead, and rebuild them, because he's probably got plenty of resource. I mean, he doesn't really, but he's going to be able to rebuild those very, very quickly, as now Momo pushing in onto this position, going to be attempting to grab this town center for himself, as his trade route is decently restarted, kind of, not really. He's got very few amounts of gold, but he's not losing units at all here. A fortress coming down now on this location now. Is this going to be enough here for Momo to take this victory or not, is the big question here, as the Arcus trying desperately to pick off as many of these Gastrofetes as he possibly can, but the palace is going to be going down, and that will give Kvoth the advantage on this position over here. There is still a little bit of gold left over on that gold mine, so will that be enough here is the big question. Those idle units over here are hurting Kvoth a ton, as this sky passage did manage to come back up. The Gastrofete are going to come back over here, will take out that sky passage. The Champion of Pacifist is still holding on this position. We still don't have champion. We don't still have the iron upgrades here for Momo, but Kvoth has started to get his own ones up, as another palace is trying to come up on this position. Kvoth knows if this town center goes the wayside of Momo, Momo will be able to win this game here. as these Arc is searching around for something to do on this location, as Watchtower's starting to come out on this position, as Kvoth is slowly but surely getting pushed off of this location. He's losing Citizen, which is going to be a very, very painful experience there for his economy, as the Watchtower is up, but the Destroyer is taking it down. Gash Defeat is still going to be taking down this Palace over here, as a Perseus is going to be coming in. That's going to put a stop to the Dryads here, as that can one-hit those and then basically pick off the other ones in a very, very short succession. So that basically 2 hits the Dryad there, as these units still sitting idly by up on that location over there. As what really can Kvoth do, as this building getting taken down? Very little gold in the bank here for Kvoth. Momo, on the other hand, same kind of situation there, as this gold mine has been prevented. The trade route still coming through here, as it's getting himself 65 gold a trip, which is very little, but effectively all Kvoth needs to do at this point is take out the army, like just completely wipe the army of Momo one time, and he should be able to re-secure this town center. But it looks like he just can't muster the forces anymore to win this one. He's too far behind potentially on armory. No, not really. He's kind of completely fine on the armory there, as the Citizen over here is going to be getting taken down. Those 4 population would be very, very helpful over here, as the unit's still trying to push through and take out the villages over here. Haspis just completely carving through those Momillo there, as Kvoth in the 41st minute of this game does decide to tap out here. Momo, on the brink of losing for the majority of this game, does manage to survive here with his Hades and get the dub. And that's exactly what Hades is, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Hades is so strong. He's just on the brink of losing the entire game, but somehow manages to survive and gets a dub here against Kvoth. Kvoth played it nicely. The only thing I would have liked to have seen was, instead of investing all this population in onto this location, just send 2 citizens forward and build buildings here. Build buildings here with like 4 archers or something like that, and you would be completely fine here to take that location and be and have a good time there with that. But he didn't go for it. The market was a really beautiful raid, but when he couldn't get his army back to defend here, that was the loss. So he needed a sky passage on this position to defend here, and then if he could just have a full population 160 pop army after all that damage was done, he could have potentially held here, pushed back, and then actually won the game here, because Momo would have had to rebuild this trade route, and it would have been a much different story. But that just one little mistake there from Kvoth to not be able to get his army back did cost him here in this game. Really well played here by Momo. Checking out this post game here, you can see the units killed still very, very close here. All resource total very, very close. It's just an incredibly close game in all honesty. And if you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.